Welcome back to our Week 9 coverage of NFL. This is the Midwest Playbook. I'm your host, Matt, and with me, as always, is Mark.
Ayo.
Um, we skipped last week because both of us were kind of sick, and so we just decided to not because we didn't feel good.
The perks of not having anybody watch anyway.
Yup, so true. Um, so I don't really remember anything that happened in Week 8. Um, So,
It's kind of just whatever happens this week takes over in my brain for whatever
yep,
happened the week before, for the football game.
yep, that is true. We did have our pick'ems results. Week 8, I went 10-6. And Mark went 11-5. And then we did do pick'ems for week 9 games, even though we didn't have the podcast, but we'll get to those results before pick'ems, and then we can kind of go over where we're standing at the season. And we were kind of going over them right before we started, and it's pretty interesting. So I'm excited to see how this plays out this week.
Yeah, I'd
Um,
feel much better if I was just winning by a landslide. So,
yeah, that's true. But I would feel a lot worse if you were winning by a landslide.
yeah, but this is about me, remember?
Oh shit. Yep, that's right. It is about him. Well, let's get into the week 9 injuries, I guess. Um, First up,
Getting
we'll go.
bad stuff out of the way.
Yeah, get that out of the way, and then we can actually go over what happened at the trade deadline and all that. Um, Drake London, he left the Falcons game with a hip injury, and they are now saying it doesn't look like it's going to be a long-term issue, which is good. The Falcons have looked pretty hot. They're a fun team to kind of watch.
And he did a really cool touchdown celebration, so that's noteworthy as well. He did the like a handstand, but without your hands
Oh,
on your
okay.
head. Amon-Ra St. Brown did the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
one.
I was trying to
Not
remember.
copying some high school kid or whatever is pretty cool, but it's a cool celebration. I like it.
Yeah, I was trying to remember who the second one was. I knew Amon Rob, but yeah, I forgot that Drake London did
Like
it too.
London, Drakey Poo.
Um, let's see here. Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, this is a big one. Dak Prescott. He left the game with a hamstring injury. Um, well, I guess I probably should have pushed the Cowboys back, but I mean, we're here.
We them
No, no, no,
boys.
no, no.
We don't need Dak. We have Zeke.
We'll wait
We going to
until
the Super Bowl.
we'll wait until the Mingo trade. How about that? So we'll push off the Cowboys a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
we not them boys just yet. We will be later.
so Dak left in the week during the week 9 game with a hamstring injury. Yeah, they were kind of like, yeah, it doesn't seem to be bad or it's going to be anything long term. And now it is looking like Dak is going to go on IR, which is not good for the Cowboys season. Um, as well, CD Lamb got injured this game. They are reporting it's a right AC joint injury. He's going to have an MRI yesterday, but I do not know what came out of that. So that's pretty much the entire Cowboys offense down right there. Which yeah is not
Imagine
good.
if they had a good running back like Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, like all in, you know.
They could have also tried to get Amari Cooper, but I mean, it is what it is. Hindsight's 2020.
Well, they
They couldn't have known they're going to get injured.
they did have Amari Cooper at one point. Is the funny thing.
Yeah, no, that's actually valid. Disregard, cancel what I said.
um, Saints. Chris Olave got injured again, and dude, this one is not good.
Yeah, I hate to see.
This was a big hit. Olave went down with a concussion. It's his second of the season, and he's had multiple throughout his career. He did say afterwards that on social media he's going to be all right. Um, but it was a bad hit. Uh, And like, I don't want to ride Derek Carr too bad because he kind of is already getting attacked on. Attacked isn't the right word, but I guess called out a little bit on social media for some of this stuff. He had a ex wide receiver who called him out, and like looking at this, it in my opinion is just kind of a bad throw. Like it was over the middle, and he put it in a spot where it was uncatchable for Chris Olave. So it it was just not a good situation. Um, so yeah. So we'll kind of see where that goes and what kind of comes out of that. For the Eagles, AJ Brown left this game with a knee injury, but it is sounding like he didn't have anything serious done to it. Uh, then looks like that's most of the major ones I have here. Um, we'll push off the Zach Moss stuff until we get to the trades, which is we'll do now. So, did we talk about Deontay Johnson last week? I don't think so.
2 weeks ago.
2 week, yeah, we definitely didn't talk about him 2 weeks ago.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So we had, I think this would have been last week news, but obviously we weren't here. We had Deontay Johnson get traded from the Panthers to the Ravens, and it was basically for free. It from what I
It's nice.
understood. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's nice for the Ravens to just. Obviously, he's not their number one guy, but they got Zay. No, they don't need him to be the number one guy. He can be a good second or third option.
Yeah,
He's been held back so far in freaking Carolina.
So from what I understood, this was mostly a move to help get some cap room for the Panthers. Because
They're not good and they're not winning anytime soon.
Yeah, the Ravens got Deontay and a 6th-rounder, and the Panthers got a 5th-rounder back. But obviously, it's the Panthers, so that 6th-rounder is going to be early, and the Ravens' 5th-rounder is going to be late. So it's
the same pick.
Yeah,
they're
pretty
trading
much
the same pick, and honestly, probably underrated because he's been in Carolina.
Yeah,
maybe he can actually. He's gonna be taking away touches from Zay. I don't like that as a Zay Flowers fantasy owner.
Let's see. I think I read or heard that basically the pick swap was pretty much the Panthers moving up. I think it was 14 or 15 spots, so not a whole lot, especially on
half a round.
Yeah, exactly. Cam Robinson from the Jags to the Vikings, so they get a little outside tackle help. The Cards got edge rusher Baron Browning from the Broncos. The Lions got their guy to help replace Hawk. Not Hawk.
Hutchins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hawk.
R.I.P. You just
Yeah.
Dude, if there were like long-term Lions fans here, they are in shambles right now just at the Hawk's name.
Well, Hawk was on the mind because I think he was activated, so I think he's gonna play this week. I don't think he did last week, but I think this is the week he's gonna be back. So Lions trade for Zadarius Smith from the Browns. So they got Zadarius in a 2026 7th-rounder, and they give up a 2025 5th and a 26 6th. So that'll help them out on defense and help fill in for Aiden Hutchinson, which I think is good. They needed somebody to kind of take up that position, especially with the caliber that the Lions are playing at. Like they're scary and they could legitimately be kind of a Super Bowl favorite right now.
It's terrifying that they've had all these injuries and they just obviously we'll talk about the Packers. They just made the Packers look like fools.
Yeah.
And the Packers are a good team. I'm biased, but still.
Which we'll get into it then, but I
Yeah.
also want to break down Jordan Love's numbers and kind of look at it because I had read a couple things about his kind of performance and.
Oh, brother, trust me, I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
And then after that, we had the Bengals making a trade for Khalil Herbert from the Bears, and they gave up a 7th rounder for him. So depending on what Khalil Herbert can do for the Bengals here, that could be pretty big, especially with they just placed Zach Moss on IR, I believe. Let me double check. Yes, he is out with a neck injury, likely for the season. So, getting Khalil Herbert in here is gonna help out the Bengals. And who is their current number 1 back? It is Chase Brown.
Not Joe Mixon anymore.
Nope, is Chase Brown. Who had a pretty good game against the Raiders, but so
Yeah.
it'll be nice that they have, some more well-known options in there at back, especially if they kind of try to turn things around and maybe try to make a playoff push. That was one thing I should pull up is the divisional standings so I can kind of see where they're at because I haven't looked. Oh, yeah, that's right. They're in the Steelers and Ravens conference.
Unfortunate.
Oh, so they could potentially be a wild card team. Kind of depends on how the Jets end up stopping jetting. But yeah, so it'll be nice for the Bengals to actually have some help back in their backfield again. Okay, and then we had Cowboys trading for Jonathan Mingo. So this is what I was gonna kind of get into with the Cowboys is I think Jerry Jones needs to actually get a GM in here, and he needs to step back from being the GM of the Cowboys. Because I don't think he's taking the team in a direction where they need to go or a direction that's really competitive or setting them up well for the future. So from what I was reading with this Jonathan Mingo trade, they sent a 2025 4th rounder to the Panthers, and they got back Mingo and a 2025 7th rounder. Basically, the way I understood that it was laid out by Jerry Jones is Jonathan Mingo was a 2nd round draft pick in the 2023 draft. So he was kind of seeing as like, hey, this is a 2nd round guy and we only gave up a 4th rounder. So that's pretty good, But at the same time, you gave up more than what the Ravens gave up for Deontay Johnson. A conditional 5th was given up for DeAndre Hopkins, so you gave up more for Mingo than what the Chiefs gave up for Hop. And same with, I guess, Amari Cooper. The Browns did get a 3rd rounder for him, but, still, it's kind of wild to me that the Cowboys are going to give up a next year 4th rounder when, the Chiefs didn't even give that up for D-Hop. So
crazy.
Yeah, this is kind of a team that I don't know if I really don't think Jerry kind of meant for this team to be a meme, but when he came in during the offseason and was like, yeah, we're going all in, and then pretty much
Took forever to re-sign CD.
Did basically nothing. Brought back Ezekiel Elliott. Didn't even they have no run game is the thing. You can't say you're going to go all in and then not even try to have a run game. They didn't really do anything. He said all in and then just did nothing. So I don't know what he's going all in on. And then I believe I saw a story that they dropped a guy that they had traded for in the offseason to have a roster slot for Mingo. Um, let me look up and see. Because like if you're gonna trade away something to get a guy and then like I don't remember what the stats were that the guy they traded for was doing before they dropped him. I don't think he was doing like too much, but like still you gave up draft capital to get that guy and bring him in. And now you're giving up more and it's like you're not getting in anything in return. So it kind of seems like Jerry Jones is not really doing anything that is going to give the Cowboys a chance to get better in the future. By
It's very short-sighted.
yes, and
He's just trying to put a Band-Aid on a axe wound.
and this Mingo trade came after they found out that like Dak is going to miss some time. Like their backup quarterback is Cooper Rush, who, you know, admittedly as a starter has done okay for the Cowboys, but this is not a Cowboys team that should be like, you know, going in for this season when your starting quarterback is out for who knows how long. Your number one wide receiver also just got injured. Like this doesn't make sense. It's like Jerry's trying to win the Super Bowl this season when it doesn't make sense. And like I really do feel as though they just need to get somebody in there to be an actual GM because I don't think Jerry can do it anymore. Like there needs to be something that changes with this team because like all of these early playoff exits are it's just bad. And you know, I'm not even a Cowboys fan, but I kind of feel for them because you know, this is supposed to be America's team and they're just doing nothing. They're a fucking joke, you know? Like I know we have like some teams that we talk about are jokes like the Titans, you know, Carolina, fucking Jags, like, but the Cowboys, man, like, this is a high profile team that should be doing well. But I
With
really,
actual expectations.
yeah, I
You know,
really
nobody
think,
expects the Panthers to do anything, but every year the Cowboys are supposed to be good, and they're just not. They get worse every year.
like, I really think it's like the Cowboys are like the joke team, I guess, one of the joke teams for sure. And I think Jerry is just kind of steering them into the ground. So I think there needs to be a change there. But that's all I got to say about the Cowboys, I guess. So then the Commanders traded for cornerback Marshawn Lattimore. I like this move a lot.
It's a scary move.
Yeah, the Commanders look good. And I am
They unironically do, which I was not expecting at the beginning of the
yeah,
year.
a lot of people are not expecting to be saying that. And it was kind of cool hearing that, you know, a lot of unnamed players in the league were telling their agents, hey, I'd kind of like to be traded to the Commanders because that's not something we've heard like at all recently.
Terry McLaurin is in shambles right now.
So it's really cool to see like the Commanders just, you know, they get Jaden Daniels and now all of a sudden this is like a hot spot for people wanting to go because Jaden Daniels is him. Like I don't know at this point anymore who you could argue would beat him out for Rookie of the Year. Like
Yeah.
if it were to, you know, season were to end today, he's winning Rookie of the Year, no doubt.
Yeah, the Commanders were a joke team a couple of years ago, and now, you know, they're like an actual team. They have a future and a present.
mhm. And like right now, he is the best rookie quarterback that came out of the draft. Which you know we expected
Bears
him to.
fans in shambles right now. Looking at you, Alex.
It's definitely not the same situation because I know Caleb Williams is doing better than Bryce Young. I wouldn't even begin to compare those two.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
it is sort of a similar situation to last year where you have Bryce Young come out. He's the number one. Texans take CJ Stroud, and he balls out. Like,
Yeah, they gave the CJ Stroud fanboy a mic.
yep. So
Yeah, but you're 100% right though. He has been really good right off the bat, which is unusual. I hate seeing all these rookie quarterbacks come out and they're the starter day one. They don't have any time to actually play the game, learn the playbook. They're just out there floundering. Look at Jordan Love. He sat on the bench for 4 or 5 years. I thought he was going to be doo doo. I thought this man was going to be hot garbage, and he turned out to be great.
and
But he had time to develop and build that.
that was the other thing. I was seeing now that people are like, yeah, the NFL, they don't develop rookie quarterbacks anymore, which I kind of agree. It doesn't seem like they do. It seems like a lot of times they expect these guys to come out of college and just, be Jaden Daniels, be CJ Stroud, just ball out immediately. But that's not the way it's going to be, Because these guys, a lot of times, are used to like air raid in college, and it's just not the same as NFL. Like,
It's a completely different game.
And like the skill level is completely different. Like,
Yeah, dude.
Even
they don't have Von Miller in college.
Exactly. Even the best college teams do not average out to play as good of teams as the NFL does every week.
The best players on the defense of the best college teams are going to be fairly high draft picks. They might be like a second or third option at their position right off the bat. And it's like we're talking about depth, like multiple spots in the depth chart, different skill levels.
And so like I think like Packers, they're a great example of what happens when you develop a quarterback. Like everyone was upset when Jordan Love came out and he was good because everyone wanted to see the Packers have to go through
everyone except me.
Well, everyone except Packers fans, we all wanted you guys to, kind of get your cake and have to eat it too, but then you guys are like, nah, look, we're kind of a quarterback factory, which I think more teams need to try to be.
Oh, what was that backup? Malik Willis, or what was his name?
Yeah, Malik Willis is your guys'
even
backup.
Even he, like, for a backup, he looks really good. He's good on the ground. He doesn't look like he has the best arm, but he can throw. And honestly, I don't know if I can say Jordan Love has the best arm after this week.
And that's the thing. If you look at Malik Willis when he was in Tennessee, he was bad. He was not good. And then you get him out to Green Bay, where they've shown that they can develop quarterbacks into good players, and now look at him. Like, there were people that were saying that Malik Willis should start over Jordan Love.
Yeah, those people were crazy, though. We don't talk to them.
So, like, I think they need to work some more and develop some of these rookie quarterbacks, especially the likes of, like,
absolutely. People you expect to be
Williams.
a generational quarterback, somebody you want to have the keys to your team for a decade or so. Give them a couple years to actually learn how to play the fucking game.
Yeah. Like,
just throwing them to the fire, and the thing is, like, if they don't figure out right away, boom, you're Bryce Young. You're in danger of getting shipped out.
Which I kind of sort of, depending on what the future holds for the Panthers, I do kind of like that they were turning teams down who were asking if they'd be willing to trade Bryce Young.
Really, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so there were actually multiple teams that were calling to try to get Bryce Young, but the Panthers
Which doesn't
were like,
surprise me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that surprised me. There's that they're declining it.
So obviously small sample size, but from Bryce Young getting the start back, it seems like he did improve some. Obviously, there's a bunch of factors that go into it, but it does seem like him not having the weight of being the starter maybe is helping him be able to retain and learn a little bit more.
See, that's the exact type of thing that you can completely avoid by benching him for a couple of years and developing him.
Yeah, like it sucks when you have these really bad teams who need a QB. So, and obviously when they're bad, they get a high draft pick, so they take some really good guys. So, everyone kind of speculates about it, but some of these, quote unquote bust quarterbacks from years, like how good would these guys have been if they went to a different situation?
Or, dude, Baker Mayfield's a perfect
Yeah,
example of that.
absolutely.
Which that might be a better example of why Cleveland is the place that quarterbacks go to die, but still, it's valid.
And
He was trash. He was supposed to be another Browns quarterback to lead them out of the dungeon. Did nothing. Looked like Johnny Manziel. Got shipped off to Tampa Bay for a
well,
pack of chips and turned into a stud.
well, here's the thing: is he didn't do super great or as well as what I think some people were anticipating, but I wouldn't say he did bad. Like he actually did pretty well on the
Well,
Browns.
but the expectations. They needed him to not be good. They needed him to be great. He wasn't that right off the bat. So boom, we get shipped off to. I'm sorry, I think he went to Carolina first
Yeah,
or
he's
something
he's
like
kind of
before the
jumped
Tampa
around.
Bay. But he's been on a couple teams now, and I think he's finally found a home.
Let's see. Like Baker Mayfield's stats. See, when he played for the Browns, he had a passer rating of 87.8. He threw for 14. Okay, 60 games was how many games he played for the Browns. Um, that seems like a lot. Holy shit. That's like what, 5 seasons?
Really? For
4?
the Browns? That's not
Yeah.
just his
No, that's
dude. Don't
yeah.
oh dude, don't do this to me. You're making me feel old.
Um, but when he was with the Browns, he threw for 14,125 yards. Let me pull up the calculator and get the average.
That's like
Um,
140 or something.
125 divided by 60. 235. So he averaged
Oh shit.
235 yards a game, which, isn't bad. And he threw 92 touchdowns and 56 interceptions. So he actually did pretty well for the Browns, and I think he might have actually taken them to the playoffs, I thought I remember. But the problem was he got forced out for I Deshaun
Sitting here
Watson.
waiting in
Oh my
suspense.
gosh. Deshaun Watson. Um so yeah. So basically the Browns forced him out for Watson, and we all see how that worked out.
Now they have Jameis Winston.
Yeah. So yeah, and then Baker went to the Panthers, and then the Rams, and then the Bucks.
I forgot he
And
was on the Rams.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think he played in the
Was that like
playoffs for him.
one or two seasons?
It was like the end of the 2022 season.
Yeah.
Um,
I knew it wasn't very long, but
yeah,
he
but like,
belongs in Tampa Bay.
yeah, and I hope they get healthy for his sake because
For real. For the whole team's sake. Which
absolutely, yeah.
I mean they even with missing pieces, we'll get into it, even with missing pieces, they still didn't look
Oh
terrible this
no,
week.
absolutely not. They look pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Um,
Guys, Baker can do that with not a whole lot. I'm telling you.
yeah, like
My boy, it's Baker's season.
Baker is been Baker's season.
Literally me every single year. It's Baker's season with him sitting on my bench in fantasy.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of long story short, develop your quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to be a CJ Stroud. Not everyone's going to be a Jaden Daniels. You obviously hope for it. I guess the best advice I could give you, if any NFL GMs are listening and they are on a shit team that is going to have a high draft pick, take the second overall quarterback. um, but yeah, so Marshawn Lattimore to Washington. That's going to be big. A lot of this, I think, was Saints trying to remove themselves from the hell that they have put themselves in as far as cap. I forgot until just now how bad the Saints are.
It's a really bad situation, dude. They're paying so much money for this dog ass team.
Yeah, so
I
2025.
remember you told me the stats on it a little while ago. We were
So
talking about it.
after the moves, The Saints are still going to be 61.7 million over cap
It's
for
insane, dude.
next year.
You expect that out of the Eagles, or like I don't know, like the Lions.
And that's the thing. Next year, the Eagles have 33 million cap space.
That's well, is that? Do they have any contracts coming off the books?
Um, let's see. Yeah,
Devon-
let's
Devonta Smith still has a couple years, right? I thought there was somebody big. Oh, they re-signed a couple guys. I don't disregard. That's a tangent anyway. Not important.
yeah. Yeah, so the Saints they're going to need to do a lot. They are not in a good spot, and I think with them firing their head coach, it kind of seems like they're going to be looking to make a lot of big moves. So
A
after
new
this,
team.
yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, I was looking at some of this stuff and listening to some people talk about it. They really don't have a lot of guys that they can like cut that is going to be big cap savings. Like, the problem is that they've just continued to restructure and restructure. Like, I think they had
Yeah.
two, maybe three. I think it was two at the most, guys, where if they were to cut or trade them, it would save them 13 million. Two guys. That's it. Like, the rest of the guys it's not going to be that much. And a lot of these guys that would help them out if they got rid of them, by getting rid of them, they're going to incur some big dead money hits. So they've really just like kind of fucked themselves basically, and it's not good. Um, so we'll have to see what the Saints do, but they're not in a good position. But I do like to see that they got, uh, you know, basically two picks from this because they gave one back. Um, then we had the Steelers trading for Mike Williams. They gave up a 2025 fifth rounder, um, which I think is good. The Steelers they need a little bit of help,
It's
and
good value and I think a good fit.
yeah, Mike Williams fits into their style, especially with Russ at quarterback now, where it's just like go deep and I'm just gonna chuck it. Um,
Fuck it, William Mike down there
yeah,
somewhere.
exactly, Mike or Pickens. So
I know we were hoping for him to go to a different team in
yeah,
Los Angeles, but
so that I'm kind of sad. I would have liked to have Mike back to mentor some of our young guys, but I think this is still a good fit.
yeah.
Um, Then the Steelers made another move. They traded for edge rusher Preston Smith from the Green Bay Packers. And the Packers are going to get a 2025 seventh rounder for him. Then we had the Ravens making another move. They traded for cornerback Tre'Davious White from the Rams, and they got a seventh rounder, a 2027 seventh rounder, and they gave up a 2026 seventh rounder. So those, we won't see any of that for a little while. And then the final move of the trade deadline, we had the San Francisco 49ers trading for defensive tackle Khalil Davis from the Texans. And the Texans got a 2026 seventh. So that'll be another year before we see that turn into anything. I was trying to think if there was anybody who I'd kind of heard that there was some trade rumors possibly that didn't end up coming through. I heard T. Higgins' name thrown out a little bit, but I don't know how much.
Yeah, I also heard that the Bengals weren't really interested in fielding any of those.
Yeah, because I think the Bengals still kind of feel like they're in a position where they could still get a wild card and make it to the playoffs. I
If
don't.
they look like they did this week, whew.
Yeah, and
But how realistic is that?
yeah, exactly. Um, like it all depends on if their guys can stay healthy. I think it was looking like T. Higgins might be out again this week. I think he's doubtful as of right now. So we'll kind of have to see how that goes. There's only so much that Joe Burrow and Chase can
Jamar.
do. Yeah. Is there anyone else? I don't remember. I I think some people thought that some more Saints players would move, obviously with their cap stuff. And
Zeke's getting disciplinary action.
yeah, we can kind of get to that with the Cowboys game. Like that's another case where I didn't
This,
bring it up in the all-in thing, but that's like
we got to be better, boys. We just got
yeah,
to. We got to
it's
be showing up to practice. Can't be skipping team stuff.
like I've said it about other teams, but it just seems like the Cowboys are not a serious team right now. I need to like have a running list of unserious teams.
The meme
Yeah,
teams, the
meme
meme squad or
teams.
something. Yeah, meme team.
Um. So yeah, I don't know. I'm looking through the standings to see if there's anything that I wanted to go over before we get to the games, but I don't think so. So I think we're gonna move on to last week's games. So
You're
we opened the week up with Texans Jets. Um,
99% of Americans were upset after this one.
yeah, I think I watched the first half of this game. I think that was about it. Um, Jets obviously won. They beat the Texans. Um, which I think we both picked the Texans, which looking back on it, probably shouldn't have. Uh, because like the Texans are just they're beat
Stefan,
up. Yeah.
so Stefan just got hurt.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
Stephon
Tank
Diggs got
Dell's a
hurt.
beast, and honestly, Robert Woods put in work too. I'm not gonna lie, only 2 catches, but he got 44 on those two.
Yeah, like Tank Dell
It's
is doing what he can.
yeah, literally. But yeah, they're tough. They're beat up. Joe Mixon had himself a game, but it wasn't enough.
Like CJ Stroud, 11 for 30 for 191. Some people are starting to say this is kind of his sophomore slump, but I don't I don't want to say that just yet. Uh like
We'll give it a couple more games before we start labeling it.
I want to see what happens when Nico Collins gets back
Yeah,
because I want to know how much of it is a sophomore slump and how much of it is like
just not
they're
having any wide
yeah, not
receivers.
having like really anyone to throw to. Like I mean, look at Tank Dell even. Six
Called out.
catches for 126. He averaged 21
Uh,
yards a catch. Like that's
Tank
still
Dell was an
good.
absolute steal in the draft.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
couldn't believe they just felled him, and I called it. I called it right when he got drafted that he was going to be a beast.
Um and yeah, so Jets win this. I think, they really needed to.
Yeah, this was a do or die.
Like this was definitely kind of a get right game. Um
It,
and
it was, and it was proof that Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams can coexist.
yeah, like you know, it's good to see because I think a lot of people were gonna say that like, hey, it was just gonna run away with it and Garrett Wilson was just gonna get relegated to pretty much nothing. But they did well. Um,
Garrett had more receptions, one less yard, but had another tutty.
mhm. This is the game where the rookie running back, nope, he's a wide receiver who they had in at running back. He ran the ball for 18 yards and dropped it before he got in the end zone.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
And so I was watching this live at this point yet. And when it happened, I was like, right away, I don't think he got in. And, sure enough, he didn't. And it's like, this is definitely something they got to kind of work on. Like, this game could have been completely different. Like, it could have been a lot, you know, further apart than what it ended up being.
Yeah.
Like they,
Honestly, if you're the Jets, you're just happy to walk away from this game. But it would have been nice to have some insurance and look like a real team
yeah, absolutely.
versus just beating up a completely destroyed Houston team.
And like, yeah, that's the other thing. I'm looking at it now, dude. The Jets had so many guys in on defense this game. Like they had 48 total tackles and 8 sacks. I did not know
Oh,
that. Um, So that's also why looking at this now, I'm like, well, maybe it's less of CJ having a sophomore slump and more just their O-line issues. But yeah, the Jets needed to win this and they did, and I think this kind of puts some wind back in their sails. So we'll kind of see what happens going forward. Who do they have this week? Cardinals. I think that's a winnable game. So we'll
Yeah.
kind of see if this was sort of gonna help set the ship right and what they can kind of do. And then after that, we will go on just because it's at the top of my games because they're my favorited team. We'll go Chargers Browns. Chargers win 27-10. And Herbert, he looks like Justin Herbert.
Yeah, it was a good game for them. Herbert looked really good. J.K. Dobbins balled out. They still didn't use Gus the Bus. I'm crying inside, but it's okay.
Gus, I
Quentin
believe.
Johnston, Quentin Stonehands Johnson looked good. Even Vlad McConkey was out there.
I think Gus is on IR.
Well, I guess that excuses it there. Is he really?
Yeah.
I don't have him on my fantasy team anymore, so I didn't get the notification.
Yeah.
That's why.
He got injured again, and so he's on IR for now.
Damn it, Gus.
And we didn't actually run the ball that much until like second half.
Yeah, didn't need to.
Like first half of this game was just Justin Herbert coming out and firing. Like he is, in my opinion, from what I see from people, he's still an underrated quarterback. Like look at the guys we have. Like, no offense to our receiving core, but we have Quentin Johnston, who had a horrible rookie season. Lad McConkey, I knew he was going to do well.
Literally the only person in the world. But
But
like you told me before the season. I'm a witness.
yeah, I think he's doing better than I thought he was going to do.
I would not I wouldn't doubt that. He's
Uh,
definitely doing better than I thought.
Joshua Palmer, he had 2 catches for 63 yards this game. It's pretty big. Which, some of these was just the Browns kind of shitting the bed and some blown coverage stuff. But like, yeah, like these aren't, big name WR1s, but Justin Herbert's able to elevate these guys and be a lot better. And so we don't need, like I would love a WR1, but we don't need them right now, which is,
Yeah, and the Browns shot themselves in the foot too. They
yeah,
Jameis threw 3 picks. They just were sloppy.
which that's another thing. Our defense is looking good. Like, it's, I don't, it sounds like bias when I go and say that people are saying my team is kind of bad, and I'm saying that I think people are underrating us, but we have the number 1 scoring defense in the league right now, which I don't think a lot of people expected. And I will go on record and say I also said this at the beginning of the season that I think our defense is going to be really good this year.
6 sacks and 3 picks this game.
Like,
That's good fantasy points right there.
yes, big
Not
time.
that you needed them.
Like,
Hope.
I think, I don't know how deep we'll go into the playoffs, but I feel fairly confident that if things continue to go the way they are, we'll be at least a wild card team, especially in this kind of division, Like, there can be 3 wild card teams, and so I kind of feel like right now it could be the Ravens, which I think it will be the Ravens, or the Steelers, whichever way that division ends up going. Bengals could, for sure. The Jets I'm skeptical on, but then, right now Chargers and Broncos are kind of neck and neck there. But I think the
I'd give the
Chargers,
Chargers the edge.
yeah, I think the Chargers are a little bit further ahead, even though, did we lose to the Broncos?
Bro, if they could just add
one piece to their wide receiver core, they could be real. They could be pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie.
No, we beat the Broncos, so we have the tiebreaker there so far. Off. No, that's fine. I can close that one. But yeah, so long story short, I was right. um,
Vindication.
yeah, we look a lot better than I think a lot of people thought we were gonna. You know, I don't think we played like super high caliber teams this season. That being said, we still were competitive against the Chiefs. But you know, other than that, we have beat Raiders, Panthers, Broncos, Saints, and Browns. So not super, you know, impressive, but you know, we were somewhat competitive against the Steelers. We were competitive against the Chiefs. Cards, we lost by a field goal, which I knew was going to happen. We play the Titans next week. So, I mean, it's looking like we'll come out of next week 6-3. And then we play the Bengals, which will be a game, and then the Ravens, and then the Falcons, and then the Chiefs, and then the Bucks. So we do have kind of a tough second half of the season. So
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But I'm optimistic for us this year, which is something I have not felt in many years.
Since the Patriots were good.
Yeah, since I was a Patriots fan like a decade ago. So since I became a Chargers fan in 2018 or 2019, I have not really felt this optimistic. So that is good. I am happy for once. Let's go to Cowboys.
Chargers fans discovering joy.
That's so damn true. Let's go to Cowboys Falcons.
It was bad, dog.
Like
I picked the Falcons, man.
No, you
or
picked
the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I
you picked
mean,
the Cowboys, and like when we hopped in the call, I was like, "You really? I'm pick the Cowboys?" And he's like, "Yeah, man."
Bro, come on, man. Dak's supposed to do something.
Well, yeah, he did 18 for 24 for 133 and a tutty.
Yeah, bro, that is unacceptable. But it's Dak, so whatever. Kirko Chains in ATL. Go off. He got that white boy swag.
Yeah. I don't think this game was as close as the scoreboard is saying. Like the Falcons look pretty good. I don't really know what else to say. The Cowboys need to figure out their stuff.
Oh, they need to figure out what the hell they need to do with Zeke because he is becoming a team cancer.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't have gotten signed to the team.
Well, bro, you have Dalvin Cook. You already have one washed up running back who used to be a beast. You don't need another.
Like, I don't know what they expected from Zeke, to be honest. Like, did they think he was only good in like the Cowboys organization? Because like he went to the Patriots and he was not good. Like,
he is literally Eddie Lacy. He's an absolute beast and just a physical specimen. And over the years, he's just getting lazy. He's going to start putting on some weight, and he's going to become Eddie Lacy 2.0.
The Cowboys got a lot that they got to figure out.
But we're going all in. We
all in,
boys. We going to the Super Bowl.
Yep, all in. Then we had the Dolphins Bills. This was a close game. 27 to 30.
Shouldn't have been a close game.
This wasn't Tua's first game back. This was his second, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tua went 25 for 28, 231, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He took 1 sack for a loss of 7 yards. He had a QBR of 89 and a rating of 124, so he did pretty well. Especially on the flip side, Josh Allen, they had the same amount of completions. Josh had 4 more yards, but threw 11 more passes, so not nearly as good. Completion to attempts, but he had 3 touchdowns and an interception this game, which I forgot to mention. Justin Herbert currently leads quarterbacks in the NFL for
Oh,
least amount of interceptions thrown. He has not thrown an interception since week 2 against the
say like 5
Panthers.
or 6 games, or no, it'd be what, 7 games now.
Yeah, he hasn't thrown one in
Yeah.
7 games.
I remember seeing that on like pop up on like my Facebook or something, and I was like, "Damn, T Dog's gonna go crazy
Yeah.
with this."
The Josh Allen thing reminded me because there was a while there where they were tied for least interceptions in the league, and
This
now
breaks.
Herb is just leading. But
Jehobo.
Jehobo. So, like, Tyreek Hill, 4 receptions, 80 yards. That's looking more like Tyreek.
Yeah, they get more comfortable, and dude, I still am just in awe that the Miami Dolphins are an actual team when we thought Tua Tagovailoa was actually dead.
Yeah, like it was. I am happy to see him come
And he's
out
already.
and
I'm
doing
happy to see
well.
him sliding feet first.
Yes, that is
Bro, he
another
got a
thing.
standing ovation his first time, rightfully so.
Yep. So the Dolphins kind of look more like a team, but I think they're still having some defensive issues. That is kind of not helping them out.
That
But
one really long Ray Davis touchdown, just weave and bob.
yeah. So hopefully the Dolphins are able to kind of work something out on defense and stay healthy.
I had some money on the Bills there. I was sweating.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, this one was close.
It
was
was a
close.
good game.
Khalil Shakir's still stepping up for the Bills, which is good. Keon Coleman still did pretty well, even on 2 targets. And I forgot, Amari Cooper didn't even play because he had, I believe it was a wrist injury. So yeah, the Bills are still, their receivers are stepping up. That was a big thing in the offseason where a lot of people were like, the Bills aren't going to do anything. They don't have any receivers.
Yeah.
And then their guys stepped up. And so, the Bills, they look good. They look good.
Yeah, literally just be able to catch a pass, and Josh Allen just makes the perfect pass every time.
Yep.
We glaze Josh Allen in this household.
Not as much as Herb, but
Jehobo.
hey, hobo. My quarterback. Do you have anything else on that game?
No, that's about it.
Okay. Raiders Bengals. Bengals look pretty good.
They were
This
they were scary.
Yeah, this
Terrifying.
is obviously the Raiders though.
If they can play like this, they could be a real team.
Yeah.
Joey B throwing for 251 yards, 5 touchdowns. He did throw a pick though.
But like
Chase Brown was good on the ground. Mike Gesicki showed up.
if you throw 5 touchdowns, I'll let you have a pick as a treat. That's fine.
You can have one pick.
You can have one pick as a treat.
That is perfectly acceptable.
And they did all of this without T. Higgins. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. So I think the Bengals still do have a chance to turn their season around.
I don't think they're they're gonna have a long trip to the playoffs, though.
Yeah, exactly. Was nice for them to get their first home win. They're now 1-4 at home, so I think their fans like that.
Yeah, that's tough.
But yeah, Raiders are still the Raiders. Oh, that's right.
Brock Bowers caught a tutty in garbage time. It was huge for fantasy owners.
I was gonna talk about how the Raiders, well, the Raiders fired, I think it was Luke Getsy. Yeah, who was their coordinator, their offensive coordinator, and they also fired their QB coach, and they also fired their offensive line coach. So they're kind of cleaning house with a lot of their coordinators and coaches there. If
Which one? Once they traded Devontae, we knew it was going to be a full blow up and rebuild, and
yeah,
I guess they're going to include their coaching staff in that.
which I don't
I mean, is understandable and honestly probably the right move.
I don't think they're like, no offense to what's their head coach's name? Antonio Gates, I believe. No offense to him, but I don't think he's very long as their head coach. Like, he's had so many controversies already this season, like the whole, oh, we're gonna, you know, make business decisions because some players made business decisions, all this and that. And then this past week, he was like, yeah, we're so injured, I don't think we're even gonna practice during the bye. And it's like, what? Like, what do you like? You guys are 2-7. Like, what are you gonna do if not practice? Like, you're not.
Practice? We talking about practice, not the game I risk my life for every day. We talking about practice.
Like, you
Shout out
guys,
AI.
you guys gotta practice. I don't think I saw that. No, but like, you guys, you're still trying to figure out your quarterback situation. Like, you had Desmond Ritter come in this game,
Bro. Desmond Ritter had one more completion. Gardner Minshew had one more attempt. They literally almost played the same amount. Funny.
except Gardner Minshew
Well,
threw
one
for
of them had a
50
tutty.
more yards.
Yeah, but Desmond Ritter had a tutty.
Desmond Ritter also had 4 sacks for a loss of 34, and Minshew
Yeah,
had 1 for 7.
that's a little bit of experience and just he got sacked a lot in Indiana and he learned I need to not do that.
I will say I haven't looked into the validity of it, but I did see something that, like, there was possibly a case where, like, I think the Raiders might draft Coach Prime's son. So that's something. I haven't watched too much college, but I would hope that he's kind of ready to come play in the league if that's what they do, and had to do. And I hope that they have a better coaching staff in place and a better situation for him, because he's gonna have a lot of expectation as well. Long story short, Bengals, I think, are better than a lot of people realize, even though this was only a game against the Raiders. They were competitive against the Ravens.
It shows their
And
potential too,
exactly, yeah. And other side of the coin, Raiders are poo-poo dog shit, which I am happy because they are in my division and the rival. So continue
Couldn't
to
have said
be
it better
poo-poo
myself.
dog shit.
3-2.
Patriots Titans. This is a garbage game, and I don't really want to talk about it. So we'll go over it very quickly. Mason Rudolph looked pretty okay. Drake May came back this game. He looked kind of okay, except for the 2
Some
interceptions.
flashes.
Yeah. He once again led his team in rushing, and it was not close.
It just cracks me up every time,
Yeah,
dude.
he averaged 11.9 yards a carry. Ramondre Stevenson, who is their starting back, averaged 1.6 yards a carry, which is not gonna get the job done.
Yeah, he got a red zone look, got a tutty.
But, like, both of these teams got to be better, man.
Yeah.
um,
Tennessee is officially waving bye-bye to the Mayo Man.
yeah, they like probably Mason Rudolph.
This is essentially a changing of guards. Like they're
Yeah.
admitting, all right, this is not our guy. We're just gonna put Mason Rudolph out there, and he's just gonna be mid until we find somebody else.
Like, if Tony Pollard wasn't here, they'd be in a lot of trouble. But
Yeah,
he's actually doing pretty well, which I'm happy because a lot of people were shitting on Tony coming out of last season. They were like, he's just kind of a bad running back who just looks good because he's behind the Cowboys O-line. And I was like, I don't know about all that. And
it's
now he's doing well. So,
it's not an insane efficiency, but like
well, yeah.
you give the man, but like you give him enough touches, and he's gonna do something.
But, like,
Like it,
also, if you remove him from this team, like,
Oh, they're
this
nothing.
team is nothing. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
they're so
Yeah,
bad.
he's definitely the rock for the team. Like they need somebody to just we just need a couple yards, go get us a first down. Somebody to get 28 carries in one game.
Like this team's so forgettable. I forgot Calvin Ridley is on this team until
Yeah,
right now again.
yeah. The only week I remembered him was the week he cooked me in fantasy.
So
They have Westbrook Ikine,
mhm,
the dude that you
I flamed you
said at
about.
one point he had scored more points in the season than Russell Westbrook had or something.
Yeah, he
Like,
was
oh, I gotta go tell Quad.
the number one scoring Westbrook that week.
Yeah, bad,
Um,
but he's old.
yeah. So yeah, both of these teams, bad teams. They got stuff they got to figure out. Um,
Dookie and Dookie.
this game did go to OT, but yeah. Which I forgot it went to OT, and it was a great play by Drake May to take this into
Oh
OT.
yeah,
I had forgotten
I
about it
forgot
until
about that.
I
Yeah,
remembered just now this game went into OT. Like Drake May pulled
that's
some
a big
fucking
play.
magic voodoo shit to get them
Yeah,
there.
I don't know how he moved around that quickly with nuts that big.
Yeah, but I guess that is a bright spot for the Patriots is Drake May. He looks like he
Like,
could be a pretty serviceable quarterback in the future.
he has his
Um,
ups and downs, but he looks like he could be. Oh, like he looks like a quarterback you could win a Super Bowl with in the future. Not right now.
just got to get that development.
Yeah, let's throw it. Which shout out Jacoby Brissett again, dude. That poor guy.
Yeah, just a journeyman quarterback his
Like,
entire
hey,
career.
you're just gonna be a tackling dummy for opposing teams' defenses, so Drake May doesn't get injured.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
put him in for one game, it gets injured for Drake May. But he came
Um,
back. He was fine.
yeah. Then we had Commanders Giants. I think this game was closer than a lot of people thought it was going to be, but this did have divisional matchup voodoo magic as well. So divisional games are always going to be wacky. Um, oh, this was the game. Daniel Jones broke like a 600 something day streak of not throwing a touchdown at MetLife. So good job, Daniel Jones, and he threw two of
Yay!
them. Woo!
Yay!
Um, other than that, I don't think the Giants really look good. There's a reason they're
Yeah.
2-7. Um, Washington looks great. Like they're a scary
Ja-
team, like we said.
Jaden Daniels only had to throw 22 times and he completed 15 of them for 200 yards, two tutties. They got two different guys with 11 carries that combined for pretty much 100 yards. Like it's just solid all around. Multiple receivers that actually put in work, 40 plus, 20 plus yards.
Like they look good. Um,
Dude, their future, they are a terrifying team to think about their future.
like,
And they're 7-2 now.
and that's the thing. Nobody expected this.
No.
Like, this is the Washington Commanders we're talking about. This was a joke team last year, and then they get Jaden Daniels, and now they're like, potential Super Bowl hopefuls this year. Like, that's a fucking crazy turnaround.
That's what Bears fans hoped Caleb Williams was.
And no offense to the Washington receiving room, I would kind of say the Bears have the better receiving room out of the
Oh,
two teams.
yeah, absolutely. I love Terry McLaurin, but he don't make up for every.
Yeah, like this is
And Terry McLaurin was barely even used this game.
kind of
They
who
didn't
the
need him.
Bears should be with how hyped up Caleb Williams was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Commanders look
But
good.
Caleb, he's still getting into it, and
Yeah. He kind of regressed a little bit the past two games from
yeah,
where he was kind of getting better as the games went
but
along.
he's a rookie. Let's
Yeah.
give him, let's give him his rookie season here. See how he does. He seems like he could be good. I think Bears fans know they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. Let's see how he does. You already threw him to the fire. Let's see it out, I guess.
Saints Panthers. I'm not even gonna look at the box score. This is a Saints Panthers game. these are two teams that aren't really in it. Obviously they got a lot of work they need to do. We covered the Saints, did we cover the Panthers? Kinda. I mean, it's the Panthers. Everyone knows the
Basically, yeah.
Panthers. They
Alvin Kamara continues to be just a gold star on a pile of poop.
yeah, 155 yards. That's pretty
And
good.
60 in the receiving, which led the team.
Oh, see, well, I didn't know that. I didn't open the box score. um, is this Derek Carr's first game back? I think it might have been, or maybe it's the second. And it's something like
Yeah, I
that.
think it's the
This,
second, but regardless.
yeah, regardless, like the Saints, they got a lot of work. Panthers got a lot of
Whoever
work.
won this game does not matter in the grand scheme of things.
It mattered for draft position, but somebody had to win it. Somebody had to
Thankful.
win it. Then we had Broncos Ravens. This was a slaughter. Like,
I wish it could have been a little bit closer because, as you know,
oh
Lamar,
yeah,
bro, it was such a beatdown. They literally pulled them.
yep.
They said they told the second stringers just go have fun out there. It doesn't matter.
Mark and
They didn't even score any points.
Mark and I were playing each other in fantasy this week, and he has Lamar Jackson, and so obviously they pulled Lamar early, which meant he got no more points after that point, which was pretty great considering I was dead last in the league, and Mark, you were what, third?
I was second. Now I think.
So that was pretty nice getting a last place win over number 2 in the league, even though for me it really doesn't matter because I'm kind of already out of the playoffs. But that was a good moral victory. Like, I got a good team that just hasn't come together.
I have had a good team all year, and it's just slowly crumbling away. And it all started with Isaiah Pacheco. He was the Harambe of my fantasy.
Who did they have come in for Lamar Jackson?
They had. I don't know because they literally did not throw a pass.
I just
so their name didn't
noticed
show up
that.
in the box score.
That's why I was like, wait, who did they have come in? Did they literally just run Josh Johnson?
Josh Johnson. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
on. I click on him. Football quarterback. Yep. When you Google him, his picture is still a picture of him on the Commanders.
Okay.
So he literally just handed the ball off and ran it a couple times.
Yeah.
That's dirty work, dog. Fantasy owners in shambles. It's me.
Yeah.
Dude, 16 for 19 for 280 yards and 3 tutties.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers had that one really huge play and ended up with a game of his life.
Like a 158 rating. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, I didn't even say anything about Derrick Henry, but just assume he had a Derrick Henry day, meaning he had 100 yards and 2 tutties.
Yeah.
Just casual. That's expected at this point.
I am happy to see the Ravens did not play down to their opponent for once. Well, not for once, but they didn't in this game.
Yeah, that's something I was scared of because the Broncos are a team that if you do play down to them, they can beat you.
Yeah. And I don't even think Bo Nix looks horrible. I think he could also be a serviceable QB in the future.
Cortland Sutton 1-for-1 with a tutty. Put him in at quarterback.
Yup.
There's only 2 yards. Nah, I don't care. Put him in. That QBR go dummy.
Hold on. I remember that. I've watched this touchdown. This is the one where Bo Nix caught the touchdown.
Yeah, you were telling me about it.
Yeah, he scored the only Denver touchdown of the game. It was a pretty good touchdown too.
It's a nice little trick play.
I think Denver's defense has kind of taken a step back from where it was at the beginning. Yeah. Because at the beginning it was kind of like Denver and Chargers D are looking pretty good, and then Chargers have kind of pulled away there a bit.
1 sack this game.
But yeah, the Broncos got some work, and the Ravens, when they're firing on all cylinders and don't play down, look scary.
They're a real team to beat.
Jags Eagles. This was the game where Saquon Barkley decided he was playing Madden, and
Yeah, dude, you can't even do that in Madden. That's the thing.
yeah, hurdle a guy
If you
backwards.
did that shit in
Oh.
Madden, dude, people would riot.
Did you see the sideline reaction when it happened?
I did, dude. I did not. I need to though.
I
Like,
am looking it up.
jukes a guy, spin move perfectly out of a tackle. Halfway through the spin move, just jump up in the air, completely clear a guy, go like 4 yards forward, and then get tackled forward another 2 yards. It's unreal.
Yeah, I'm getting the link now for you. Like, you gotta see the sideline reaction. It's so fucking
I
good.
can only imagine because I know exactly what my reaction would be.
So like the Eagles look better, and they look more like what they should be looking like.
Gotta beat Jacksonville by more than one score, though. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's the thing.
Like,
Is
the
like,
defense just gave up too much.
and it was all in the second half.
And yeah,
So like their defense needs to show up and play the entire game.
yeah.
Especially against
We locked them
Jacksonville.
down the first two, especially against Jackson. All right, let me see this. Let me see this link real quick.
Yep, go for it.
And it's off a pass too. It's not even a rush.
Like Saquon had a day, 27 carries for 159 yards.
Dude, number 90 just turns around. He's like, "Bro,
Yep.
dude, no, my eyes aren't working or something. This shit ain't right."
And this was the game where AJ Brown went out with his injury. So Devonta was number one back, which was pretty good for fantasy.
For me though.
Yeah. So I don't know how much of this is the Jags look better. Judging by Trevor Lawrence's stats, I'm gonna say probably not. I think it's just the Eagles' defense kind of let up there in the end. They need to play 4 quarters.
They realized they played too well in the first half. They had to let him catch up a little bit.
Oh wait, guys, we're the Eagles.
We can't be good on defense.
But yeah, the Eagles, they'll be a playoff team, I think.
Yeah, they are the kings of shooting themselves in the foot, but I don't think they can do it enough to just completely knock themselves out.
The Eagles might be a playoffs team. I forgot they're in the NFC, so like in the NFC North, you got 2 teams there that are definitely gonna be wild card, whether it's the Lions, Vikings, or Packers. So the Eagles are gonna kind of have to fight for that other wild card, unless they can beat the Commanders for the wild card. But I don't know about that. It depends on how well the Bucks do, if the Bears can do something, and how. Oh, dude, the NFC West is kind of scary too. Like, there's Cardinals are leading right now. They're 5-4. Rams in second, 4-4. 49ers are 4-4. And then Seattle Seahawks are 4-5. So
that's teams that are better than their record, really.
Yeah, especially now that the Rams have Puka and Cooper Kupp back. Like,
if Puka can stay in the game,
okay, that's
if he
bullshit.
Can stop throwing hands.
No, okay, well, that's bullshit. We'll get to that. That's
I know.
But like Caleb Williams in this game threw 41 times. Like DeAndre Swift just could not really get anywhere with his runs. He ran 16 times, which is crazy. Like, that's a lot of plays between those two. But he only averaged 3.2 a carry. Roma Dunze had a pretty good game.
He looks like he could be a good wide receiver.
Which I think a lot of people kind of expected that.
Him being that high off a draft pick.
Yeah, like I kind of wanted him, but I am happy we ended up getting Joe Alt.
Yeah, you can't be mad about him. That dude is just he's top class.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyler Murray, 13 for 20, 154 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Didn't really have to do a whole lot. James Conner was there to eat up the yards, and then DeMercado had that big touchdown run, and Benson was there for another run.
But, I mean, yeah, the Bears have kind of just taken a step back. So
the Cardinals' top 3 receivers, 35 yards, 34 yards, 34 yards.
Yep. And Elijah Higgins and Marvis Harrison Jr. both had 2 receptions for 34, yeah.
34.
So, Cardinals, they look fairly decent. They could be a wild card team or a playoff team if they win their division.
I was worried it was fall apart and they were going to be dookie this year, but they're kind of picking it up.
Yeah,
Bears, on the
kinda.
other hand, bro, like
They've
they start off a little rocky. They really picked it up. They looked scary for a little bit, and now they're 4-4.
yeah, yeah. And they've
I was just
lost.
like, what are you doing?
They've all 4 of their losses are away games too, which is kind of weird. But yeah. Well, let's move on from that NFC North team and go to the other NFC North matchup. The big one, Lions Packers.
All right, so Jordan Love, my beloved.
Mhm.
You're about to get if so you rush out of the pocket, right? It's fine. They're coming at you. You're getting sacked. You're mid sack. All right. All right. Do we A, just take the down and then kick the field goal? Or do we B, try to Patrick Mahomes it through 4 different defenders and 2 of our guys that are looking the other way? So like, dude, the decision making, he's throwing 20-yard bombs when we're 3rd and 3. Like, dude, what are we doing? Like, is it play calling? Is it just straight up his decision making? Like, I don't think it's like the end of the world. We need to put Malik Willis in, but we got to tweak something. We got to fix something here, boys.
Um, and
Josh Jacobs looks good. I have no complaints there. Like, he
and
still threw for 273 yards, but
yeah,
on 39 attempts and threw a pick, no tutties. It's just was sloppy the whole game. And a couple of those were more him getting bailed out by Jaden Reed than him necessarily being good. Like I said, he's throwing 20-yard bombs on 3rd and short, but Jaden Reed is a wizard and actually came down with a couple of them.
and did I not at the beginning of this game say that the Lions are just going to run you guys over?
Well, dude, Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery, you're just gonna run everybody over.
Yeah.
Like, Jared Goff threw 22 passes, but that's 145 yards, and that's all they needed.
Mhm. Because yeah, Montgomery and Gibbs
Gibbs,
combined for
Ronick and Knuckles.
like 140 yards on the ground, and yeah,
Dude,
they just ran people over. They run people over. That's what they do.
I know Sam Laporta fantasy owners are here with me as a fantasy owner of Amon-Ra St. Brown. We need to throw a little bit more, dog. They're like they're honestly, their defense should be the problem with the injuries and suspension, but that's a separate issue. But it doesn't matter who they lose, they don't miss a beat. It's terrifying.
Yeah, like the Lions look good. Like I said earlier, I think they're a Super Bowl favorite. I think a lot of
I'm
people are saying that.
As a Packers fan, I'm not starting to think we're a joke, but that thought is creeping into the back of my mind. Like, are we actually a contender team, or are we just pretending? Like, what's going on here, boys?
Which
We got some shit we need to figure out in Green Bay.
yeah, and I don't even think it's like necessarily just the Packers. Like we were saying it earlier, like the second half of this season for that division is going to be tough because
We got a brutal schedule,
yeah,
yeah.
they
'Cause
kind
we
of
just put everybody
backloaded.
in our division, and they're just all beasts.
Yeah, like it's going to be some tough games through this back half of the stretch for all the teams there. Like
We got to start off hot, and we did not.
you guys got Bears this week. So that's gonna have a oh no. You guys are on bye this week. So you have Bears when you come back. Um so that's you'll have the bye week to at least, kind of figure things out. And then you play the Bears and then the 49ers and the Dolphins. Um so those are 3 games that I would say are winnable. Couple of
Yeah,
couple of them might be a little tough, but I think you guys can win them. Then
yeah.
you have the Lions again. And then Seahawks.
Play the freaking Lions twice. You know, divisional. You gotta love it.
Yeah. I think you could beat the Seahawks.
Yeah,
And then you got the Saints.
that's we should do. Okay, if we lose to the Saints, this might come back to bite me in the ass. But if we lose to the Saints, like then we actually have problems. It is
Yeah.
time to start sounding the alarm. But that should be an easy win.
That should be, yeah. And then Vikings. And then the Bears again. And that's the end of your season.
So that's actually not as bad as I thought it was. I was thinking it was pretty, which I guess it's only what 2 or 3 non-divisional games.
Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3 more non-divisional games.
But
Which
the Bears and the Vikings aren't looking quite as good as they were to start out the season. So maybe those are a little bit of a better matchup now.
yeah.
Damn, really, this whole division, except the Lions, they just all have kind of fallen down just a step. Like it's still an insane division, but
Oh, dude. I was so confused. I was like looking through the games. I was like, where are the Vikings at? We haven't talked about them.
they're on bye.
No. I was
No?
in week 10 looking
Oh,
at because I like was moving around, and so I ended up in week 10. I was like, what? The Vikings didn't play the Jags? And then it's like, oh, that's okay, okay. Yeah, that's right. They had the prime time game this week on Sunday. Um
wait, they're not on my list either. Oh wait, no, there they are. Disregard.
yeah,
I
yeah,
found.
yeah. So, yeah, I think the Packers, they're
It's not time to sound the alarms just yet, but they need to figure some stuff out.
yeah, I still definitely think you guys are at
That's
least a wild card
a
team.
contender. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll just suck if you guys get in and you play the Lions first.
Oh, that would be brutal.
um, you got anything else on this one?
No, just I'm glad it wasn't a complete blowout. Really hoping we come away with this one. But the Lions just like I said, they don't miss a step. It doesn't matter who they lose. They're just gonna be beasts.
Yeah, that is the truth. Um, Rams Seahawks. Um,
So Puka,
Puka. Mm-hmm.
we gotta learn to not. Okay, so it was retaliation. So I'm not gonna make it sound like he just came and sucker punch this guy out of nowhere. Like this dude's yanking on him and shoving him,
Yeah,
but
it's
I think he went a little bit far. I do not think he should have been ejected. I think that was kind of a
like
stretch.
he didn't even make contact.
Yeah,
But it is the
it
classic.
wasn't a huge punch either. It was just a little jab.
Yeah, it's the classic NFL thing where it's always the second guy that gets in trouble.
Yeah,
Um, it
like
it's
I think the
just
first guy should have gotten the same call as
yeah,
Puka. I don't think either of them should have been ejected.
yeah, I agree. Like it's like I understand you don't want people throwing punches, but like come on, it's kind of a bad look.
You got to pick your battles,
Yeah.
and this is not the one.
Um, like
Cooper Cup, though, 100 yards receiving, that was huge.
yeah, Cup stepped up. Demarcus Robinson has been continuing to do well. He's stepped up for these guys. Matthew Stafford, 25 for 44, 298. I think Kyron Williams, he kind of had a little bit of a off game or a worse game.
You got to give me more if I give you 22 carries.
Yeah, for sure. Then Matthew Stafford doesn't have to throw 44 times in a game.
Yeah, literally.
Threw for 298, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Gino, 21 for 34 for 363. 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Um,
It was a little bit of a polarizing game.
yeah, this one went to
He looked like a
OT2.
beast, and then he just get.
Yeah, and it kind of sounds like the Seahawks kind of shot themselves in the foot with 3 interceptions.
Yeah, you gotta clean that up a little bit.
And then Connor Williams, no, they had 2 fumbles, but they recovered both. So yeah, you just can't throw 3 interceptions. And Geno Smith got sacked 7 times for a loss of almost 50 yards as well. That hurts you too.
Yeah, that's
Um,
big.
like the Seahawks were also without
DK,
DK. So
not Donkey Kong, Metcalf.
I think the Seahawks can possibly be a wild card team as well. They just gotta show more. They gotta want it more.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker didn't have a terrible game. It's 83 yards, but on 25 carries. Like, I don't
Yeah.
just for shits and gigs, bro. Just for shits and gigs. Let's see what Derrick had on. He had 23 carries, so pretty much the same. 106 yards, 2 tutties, and
Which
that's an off week too. So
I
I need to
don't.
stop. I need to stop cherry picking specifically Derrick Henry because it's just inhuman.
Yeah.
They didn't even, like they pulled the starters. Like he didn't even play the whole game.
and some of
Like
that
he had
too
tackles a lot.
is the O line between them as well, because like obviously
Yeah,
some of that's got to be on the O line if Gino is getting sacked 7 times a game.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, I think the Seahawks could do something. They just got to get it figured out. We talked about it in past week, but they need to really lock in and act like they want to be competitive. And I think
These
they
are
can do fairly well.
these are both teams that could be better than their records say.
Yeah,
But the
and I
Rams have had injuries, and the
Mhm.
Seahawks are dealing with an injury and dealing with being the Seahawks.
Yep. So I think either of these teams could be a wild card team. We'll just have to see what happens down the stretch.
Yeah.
Um, Colts Vikings. I don't think Joe Flacco is the savior for the Colts that a lot of people want him to be or thought he
Yeah.
was gonna be.
Bro, I'm telling you, they just need to get scientists, take Joe Flacco's short and mid range pass, put that on Anthony Richardson, and then like teach him that he can't just leave the game whenever he wants. And you have a player, dog.
Yeah.
But it wasn't it. Jonathan Taylor only got 13 touches, 48 yards. They're cuffed. They're handcuffed.
Yeah. And like the Vikings were also kind of shooting themselves in the foot this game. Like Sam Darnold threw 2
Don't you pay?
interceptions. He had another fumble that he lost. Um, oh no, they recovered. My bad. Okay, but he still threw 2 interceptions. He threw all 3 of his touchdowns in the second half. Like it was looking kind of bleak that first half, and then the second half
Mhm.
they kind of came out. We're like, hey, we actually do want to win this game. Um, but I don't think the Vikings are looking as strong as they did at the beginning. But I still think they're
Absolutely.
pretty good.
Aaron Jones needs to do more. Justin Jefferson, I can't say shit about him. Like, dude had 137 yards and threw for 22. So, he's good, but other than that, the receiving core, like Josh Oliver, 58 yards on 5 receptions, fine, I guess. But they just there's holes in the team.
Yeah,
They're
for
not the
sure.
unstoppable warriors we thought in the beginning.
Which I think is still above, for sure above expectations for this team going into the season.
Sam Darnold,
Yeah, Sam Darnold. Um,
which man, we were chanting MVP for him
yeah,
before.
and that's
He kind of fell off a little
yeah, for
bit.
sure. Um, so I think the Vikings gotta figure out something a little bit, but I think once again they're still a playoff slash wild card team for sure. Um, and like this wasn't a divisional game, but they are gonna have some losses through the end of the season, just being in the division that they are. So yeah, I'm not like being super down about their future and stuff, but they do obviously have some stuff to fix, but I still think they're pretty okay, at
Yeah,
least
no,
for
they're
sure.
definitely still a good team. I mean, they've as long as they have Justin Jefferson, and he doesn't get injured. I don't think I don't think it's going to be anything to worry about. Aaron Jones, like to get a little bit more out of him, but he'll have that on the bigger jobs.
Yeah. And then last game of the week, Monday night, Buccaneers Chiefs.
Another game where 99% of the country was hoping one team would win.
Yeah. Chiefs had to take this one in OT. And I don't know if you saw the video, but Baker Mayfield.
Baker knew.
Yeah,
he knew. He knew. He said we lost the coin toss. It's over, bros.
Yeah.
Like, I'll start packing.
But like, Baker's still balling with not really
Yeah.
a super great receiving core.
Cade Otton's come out of nowhere and turned into a beast, apparently.
Yeah, on the other side of the ball. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna continue to glaze him a little bit, but you're good.
I'll keep blazing.
That's enough.
Travis Kelce broke, I forget exactly what the record, but he broke a record. He had 14 receptions for 100 yards. No touchdown, but 14 receptions. D-Hop is looking great.
I told you.
Which makes me hate the Titans even more.
People were saying he was washed. It's just because he's on a bad team.
Yeah.
Now that you give him a real quarterback and a real team, like it's terrifying. And that was the one hole in the team. Like, Patrick Mahomes is out here throwing to nobodies.
Yep.
But now he has D-Hop.
I didn't watch this game because I expected it to be a blowout, but the Bucs made it a good game.
Yeah, Baker did everything he could.
I still feel as though the Chiefs are not an 8-0 team. I still think they're worse than their record, and I think they just continue to do enough in the end to win.
Yeah.
But somebody was like, are they the worst 8-0 team? Like ever. I don't know if that's true. I definitely don't feel like they should be 8-0, but I don't think they're the worst ever. But we'll have to see. Like, who do they play this week? They play okay. Well, they're gonna be 9-0. But then after they play the Broncos this week,
right?
Huh?
Then they play the Steelers, right?
They play the Broncos this week, and then they play the Bills. So
the Bills. When do they play the Steelers?
They don't play second to last week. They play the Steelers.
Oh, okay. Damn, it's that late in the season.
They have a Christmas game.
Who did against the Bills or who?
Against the Steelers.
No, it wouldn't be the Bills. Oh, against the Steelers.
Yeah,
dude, that would be a Christmas present.
Yes, absolutely.
Cam said he hopes they go undefeated all the way till they play the Steelers, but that just so they can be the ones to beat them. But
no, I don't want to see that.
I would like if they just lost a couple games in between now.
I would like that as well, and I would like to see them lose in a couple weeks when they play the Chargers. But
that would be a nice early Christmas present.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Tampa Bay, I think they're keeping their playoff hopes alive somehow. Yeah.
They're completely battered and still put up a hell of a fight against the best team in the league.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're
8-0. They're literally just willing their way into W's at this point.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this was Baker willing
his team,
the Buccaneers.
And he's that guy. He's got that dog in him. He can be your locker room guy.
Yeah,
but just dog. He just needs somebody out there. He can only throw to Otten so many times. Like he's not gonna. Otten's not the future. We need somebody.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But everybody's just out on injury.
That's all I had for that one. You have anything else?
No, just Chiefs continue to look human, yet somehow pull some bullshit to get a win.
Yeah.
And the Buccaneers, despite having everything ripped away from them, still look like a good team. You got to be good to put up a fight against the Chiefs.
Yeah, that is true. And the Steelers 49ers were on bye this week, so they didn't have any games.
Yeah, I needed Kittle.
So
the joke who didn't do it. the fucking Browns.
that is all the games. So we'll get on to pick'ems and then wrap this up.
Yes, sir.
So it is going to be the fastest one that we've ever done so far.
Hopefully.
Woo! No, it is.
We're still
no,
at,
no,
like
no,
almost 2 hours
no, we're
like
hour
an
and a
hour
half. Hour and a half.
right now, but by the end of this.
No, it's not
But
gonna
here,
take us a half hour to do
let's go.
pick'ems. Come on.
No, I know.
Week 9 pick'ems. I went 12-3. Mark went 9-6.
It was a rougher week.
This brings our total on the season. I am 30-16, and Mark is 31-15. So we're pretty close. Which I
Both
like.
some pretty good records.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're not just like complete trash and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
making everything wrong.
So we will start this week off with our first game Thursday night, tomorrow night. Bengals Ravens.
You already know who I'm picking. Bro, I glaze everybody on the Ravens. Everybody
Okay.
knows I'm a Ravens. Basically a bandwagon, but it's just because fantasy.
So you're taking the Ravens. I'll
I'm
take the
taking the
Bengals.
Ravens. Really?
Yeah.
You think Joey B is going to put up a performance like this week?
Maybe. I just remember their first game was competitive.
Lamar's healthy. He just got moved
Yeah.
back to he was questionable. He's back to healthy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Yeah, it says
Yeah.
active.
I'm
We'll
looking
see.
at him on
We'll
fantasy.
see. We'll see. I think T. Higgins is out, but that didn't really slow him down too much last week.
Yeah.
Part of it too is this is a chance for me to get a game up on you. So
I don't see. I see this as you losing a game though,
Nah,
but
nah,
we'll
nah.
see.
I
We'll
think
see.
I think this game could really go either way.
Is it in Cincinnati or Baltimore?
It is in Baltimore.
Bro, he gets raps, dog.
Jamar
Chase.
Hey, this is a divisional game. You got to remember divisional magic.
Yeah, there's gonna be some tomfoolery, some bullshittery, if you will.
Yep. I will take the Bengals.
I feel good about my Ravens pick.
Which I don't think you should feel bad. Like you shouldn't feel like the Cowboys pick.
Yeah, that one's just a swing and a miss, dog. Or even, I mean, dude, the Packers pick. That one hurt more just because it's my team.
Yeah.
But I gotta stay loyal to my boys. I can't go against them.
Yeah. Titans Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers. Chargers just continue to look good, and I cannot say that about Tennessee.
And then I did Titans Chargers first
Or
because
jump to the 4 o'clock game because it's his team.
well, yeah, since it's favorited, they put it at the top of the games on
Yeah.
Sunday. And if I don't do it now, I'm gonna forget. Sunday morning we have a Germany game, Giants Panthers. I am sorry, Germany. Both of us might have people ancestors from Germany. We are sorry, ancestors. This is not our best.
Dude, this is why do we just keep sending this shit show? Like,
Yeah.
are they still upset over the 40s? Like, I understand incredibly terrible thing, but like, dude, we can do better than the Giants and Panthers.
Yeah.
We can, dude. Why are we sending Jacksonville overseas? Like, I know their owner owns part of a football club or football club in air quotes, meaning soccer.
Yeah.
But like, dog, we can do better than this.
Yeah. Like
these are going to be worldwide, like big deals. Let's send real teams.
Eagles Packers in Brazil was that was a pretty good game. Like that's what we need to be doing for our overseas games.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm taking the Giants.
I'm trying to talk myself into the Panthers to get another leg up, but I can't. Like, as bad as Danny Jones is, he finally threw a tutty. Maybe he's warmed up. I don't know. I'm gonna go Giants.
Okay. Okay.
I'll go first on the next one.
Well, I don't
think you taking the Bears too.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bears too.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, you. Even with how the Bears have been playing, you can't convince me to take the Patriots.
Here, I'll go first for the next one too, because this one is actually a little bit closer at least. But I mean, I'm still taking the Bucks. I'm taking the Bucks over the Niners. They
Oh,
took the
okay. Hold on.
wait. That's the next one on my list.
Yeah. We got.
Or was the next one for you, Broncos Chiefs?
No, the next one for me was Bills Colts.
Oh, that's
So-
the same thing either way.
I thought this guy's like, oh, I got the next one. Don't worry. It's
No,
like, brother, we're
no.
both taking the Bills. Let's be real here.
Let's not joke around. No, so yeah, I am taking the Chiefs and Bills. You can put me down for that.
I
But
didn't have it written down yet, but
Oh yeah, you
I
well, I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna take the Bucks though. I think they're beat up, but I think Otten's still gonna go off. I think they're gonna still put up a fight.
I want to take the Bucks as well because I like Baker, but I also think this one could go either way. So
I do.
I think I gotta go 49ers for a chance to go one up again.
And that one, I feel much better about the Ravens than I do about this one because especially with how beat up the Bucks are. I mean, the 49ers are beat up too, don't get me wrong, but they still have Brock Purdy and George Kittle. Like they as long as they have a physical human being, like a physical body at running back, that dude can drop 100 yards and 2 tutties.
Yeah, that's
It's
definitely a
scary. I don't feel
possibility.
good. Yeah.
So I got us both down for Chiefs, and then I think I'm gonna put us both down for the Falcons.
Where they play the
Falcons
Saints?
Saints.
Yeah, bro. Is it in Atlanta?
Nope, it's in
All right,
New
here's the thing.
Orleans.
Okay, I was gonna say if it's in New Orleans, you take the money line. If it's in ATL, you take the spread. But
And then after that,
this is not legal betting advice.
yeah, my lawyer called right now.
Yeah, he said don't do that shit. You can't talk about. You gotta only talk about bets after.
Steelers Commanders.
I'll take the commies.
Hate you. I am also
I
taking
think
the
this is-
commies.
I think it's going to be a pretty decent game, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think the Commanders are the better team. I don't think anybody besides delusional Steelers fans would disagree with that.
Mike Williams first game, so we'll see.
That's true, yeah.
Okay. Vikings Jags. I'm taking the Vikings.
So, I mean, I've known to have some of the legendary bad takes, but this is one I can't. I can't do it. I gotta stick with the Vikings.
Dude, there's only 2 4:00 games this week. Why is everything so? No. There's 3.
No,
There's 3.
more.
There's 3.
Yeah.
I forgot Chargers. We play at 4.
Well, hold on. And the. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Eagles Cowboys.
So
I'm taking the Eagles.
yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think anybody. So I don't think I could take the Cowboys even with Dak. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I mean, you did last week. You could again.
Yeah, that wasn't against the Eagles.
Well, maybe Cooper Rush could be really good.
No.
Okay, then we have Jets Cardinals.
Damn, bro. I want to take the Cardinals so bad, but I think I'm gonna go with the Jets, honestly.
Okay.
Well, that's a tough one.
I'm letting you pick first.
I don't know. Put me down for the Cardinals.
Yerp. I will take the Jets.
This one's gonna bite me in the ass. I can already feel it.
It's in Arizona, but I think this is a must-win Jets game again.
I think pretty much every
Yeah.
there's like 1 or 2 games that they're gonna lose, but I think pretty much every other game is a must win for them at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Texans
Big one.
Lions.
So I'm taking the Lions, obviously. This is a game that I think
What?
isn't going to be. What? You're taking the Texans?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, there's
I
no way you're hating on the Lions pick.
no, I forgot that Nico Collins was on IR. I thought
Yeah,
they
he's
had
still out.
just put him on IR.
No, Lions. I think earlier on in the season, I would have been more excited for this game. I think of how beat up the Texans are. I think it's gonna be a little bit of just like big brother beating up little brother type deal.
Yeah, I agree.
CJ's still been not bad, but it's been hit or miss, and he's shown moments, but he's had some weaker games recently.
And this is the Lions.
Yeah, and it is the 7-1 Lions that are just freaking terrifying, dude.
And then final game, Dolphins Rams. I'm taking Rams.
Mm-hmm. I kind of want to take the 2-6 Dolphins just to be different. But if Puka can stay in the game, then I think the Rams, like with him with Cup back, it's hard to pick against them. Matt Stafford looked like, no, I'm not gonna say he looked like an all-star vintage or Pro Bowl vintage Matt Stafford, but like he looked better.
Yeah, for sure.
Got options now. I got to go with the Rams.
All right.
I might actually throw some money on the Rams. That money line probably isn't too bad.
1, 2, 3. We disagree on 3 games this week. So there'll
Bengals,
be
Ravens, Bucks, Niners, and Dolphins, Rams.
no Jets cards.
Oh, right.
So there will be some movement one way or the other. Browns, Packers, Raiders, Seahawks all have a bye this week, which means Mark, get Reed out of your lineup.
Oh, brother, he already is. I moved Zay Flowers up to my wide receiver too, and dude, I'm not gonna lie. I think I have like the Bears backup running back as my flex right now. Like it's
Yeah.
tough, dude. I don't have a whole lot of depth. Or no, he's my starter. He's my running back too. I have Roma Dunze as my flex. So
Because I was gonna say, I think you started him against me
I'm
last week.
yeah I'm I'm less worried about Roma Dunze than I am about Roche, however you pronounce the name.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
The Bears backup running back.
Hold
Here,
on. Buying
let me open up
time.
fantasy real quick.
Buying time to get to your fantasy team.
It's
Time.
Roche Johnson. Roshan.
Yeah, Roshan Johnson.
Yeah, Roshan.
When I click
Just
on
a
him,
hot dookie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a waiver in right now, so he might go bye-bye.
gotcha. Yeah,
Oh shit. No, my waiver went through.
yeah.
I got Justice Hill back.
I was gonna say
I
waivers.
dropped him before.
Waivers go through on Wednesdays. I think that's everything for this week. I think. Ooh, I'm definitely watching tomorrow night's game. That'll be a good game. Bengals Ravens.
Yeah, bro, for real.
I might have to put some parlays up too.
Bro said let me put some 25-cent parlay up.
Hey, I've been doing $5 parlays. You watch your mouth.
Damn.
Yeah.
Little bro turning into big bro.
Yup. Big dog. Oh, oh, oh.
That's what we were talking about. I almost broke even, or I might break even here.
I think that's all. Dude, you want to go to SoFi Stadium this week? It says tickets as low as $12.
Gee, dude.
That looks like the cheapest tickets. Yeah, Mark, let's go SoFi.
Bro, I would love to, and eventually maybe, but probably not this week.
Wow, fuck you. It's fucked up.
I'm sorry, boo.
It's fucked up.
Next time.
It's fucked up. That's the end of the podcast for this week. Thanks for watching and listen. Oh, I guess you're listening because I didn't have any graphics. But next week we will.
Next week, baby girl.
Next week we will have more things for you to look at. I am still continuing to stall, but that's the end. I think I'm gonna end it now. If you have anything else to say, Mark, go for it.
Doses.
Peace.